Transfer rumours, you just have to love them. The latest one, Cole Palmer is homesick and wants to make a return to Manchester, and this time he wants to go to Manchester United. I'm sorry, I have to throw a wet blanket on that right away. What's up, guys? Welcome back into the channel. Today we are talking about one of the most wild rumours I've heard in a very long time. Cole Palmer is reportedly homesick in London and wants to make a return to Manchester. A little bit hard to believe because I think London compared to Manchester, London is a lot better. And then also only a 2-hour train ride to get back to Manchester. I mean, surely you have to go a bit further away to truly feel homesick. But hey, everyone's got their own feelings of home. Everyone has their own appreciation for the city that they were brought up in. So maybe Cole Palmer is feeling that way. But then look at it in a realistic way. He has a contract until 2033. Like, Manchester United would have to buy him out of that contract, which still has another 7 years on it. That is just insane to think of the amount of money that they would have to spend to get him. And not only does he have that length of contract, he is also arguably the brightest young English player that there is out there, and that automatically adds a large amount to any potential transfer fee, not even factoring in the length of contract that he still has at Chelsea. Still only 23 years old. How are Manchester United meant to afford that? They can barely rub two pennies together, so I don't see how they can be thinking that they can afford to spend that amount of money on a guy like Cole Palmer. Maybe it wouldn't be a world record fee. Somewhere in between Alexander Isak, who went for 125 million, to Kylian Mbappe, who went for just under 166 million. I would be imagining Chelsea would be wanting a fee somewhere in the region, in the middle of those two, somewhere probably around the 140 million mark. I don't see how United can justify paying that for one player when they are in the financial situation that they're in, trying to get on the right side of PSR. I don't see how they can go all in on Cole Palmer. And obviously he's a great player, but for right now, he does not fit in this Manchester United team. Like, he doesn't have an obvious place to come into this team. Yes, you could say he's the long-term replacement for Bruno Fernandes. We've seen Bruno Fernandes come out and criticise the Manchester United hierarchy for saying that they didn't really want him and maybe not feeling the love from the club that he would have liked. Also, rumours that he's only staying at United for this year because he didn't want to leave Europe before the World Cup. So there's a chance that he moves on next year. So maybe then this summer, maybe it would make sense for Manchester United to make a move for Cole Palmer. But again, they've also just spent best bones of 200 million to revamp their forward line last summer, and they're just going to throw that out the window, and they're just going to like say, Cunha, no, you don't no longer have a spot in this team. Surely Cunha is the one to replace Fernandes if Fernandes was to move on. Not saying that he's as good as Bruno Fernandes or as good as Cole Palmer, but they've already spent a significant amount of money on him. Are they just going to toss him to the side? I mean, I know he's kind of playing off the left right now, but surely he could fit into that midfield position. There's also Mason Mount, another ex-Chelsea player that Manchester United have signed and is still under contract. Surely that'd be a spot for him to go and take to replace Bruno Fernandes. And then the most important part of it all is Manchester United need other positions filled before they could think about making a move for a guy like Cole Palmer. Manchester United need midfielders. We've seen today Casemiro is leaving at the end of the season. Now, they needed midfielders whether Casemiro was there or not. So the fact that he's leaving, that only amps up the need for midfielders. They likely need two, and you hope that, unlike recent seasons and recent signings, they are going to shop the best. And that's when you're looking at the likes of Adam Wharton at Palace, Elliot Anderson at Forest, Carlos Baleba at Brighton, and those players are going to cost a lot of money. So I just don't see, like, United's priorities have to be central midfielders, likely a long-term solution at right back. I still really don't believe in Dalot. I guess they could still get by without replacing him, but probably at right back and maybe at left back too. We know the issues that Luke Shaw has faced. We know that Patrick Dorgu, like, look at him now playing in a more attacking position. Maybe that's a long term better fit for him than playing at left back. You could also make the argument they still probably need a centre back. Obviously, we don't really know what's going on with Thijs de Ligt right now. Lenny Yoro has struggled so far this year. Aiden Heaven's still such a young player. Maguire, he's had his injury problems this year. So I just think United really need to be smart, and they have to prioritise other positions and not the attacking side. They really revamped the attacking side last year, and they have to believe in them. They can't just give up on those players after 1 year and think of, like, to still have other players in the squad that can fill roles in the attacking spots, like your Amad Diallo's, like your Mason Mounts, like outside of the players that they purchased last year. And then on the flip side, you're like, well, Manchester United do like signing players that are injury prone and kind of out of form. And that's exactly what Cole Palmer has been this year. He hasn't been able to build up any sort of consistency so far this year. It's just been one injury after another. Obviously, that comes off playing a long season last year. Obviously, that went into June as they went on to win the Club World Cup. And he started in that final. He absolutely dominated Paris Saint-Germain, the European champions. He was great. But since then, we really have not seen the best of Cole Palmer at all. Enter Manchester United. We are great at picking up guys who are injury prone, who have fallen out of form. Come on down to Manchester United. We love picking up players that other teams don't want and that other teams want to get rid of. We're like, oh yeah, we'll take him on. We'll add him to our corral of failure. Yeah, if that's the way it keeps going for the rest of this season, then yeah, I think he's probably a perfect candidate for Manchester United. But on a serious note, then, the only positive I think of this rumour is at least there's an idea that Manchester United are thinking long term and thinking that they have no choice but to replace Bruno Fernandes with the very best. I love Mason Mount. I'm still intrigued by Matthias Cunha. I would love for either of them to be able to fill the role when Fernandes eventually moves on. I'm not sure I have the faith in them actually being good enough to be able to do it, with just the quality that Fernandes provides, the passing ability, and just the health side of it as well. Just like so consistently fit, so consistently playing 90 minutes week in, week out, game in, game out. He is an extremely hard player to replace. And it's nice to believe that Manchester United are at least thinking we have no choice but to invest in the best, and that would be Cole Palmer. If they were to sign him, like you'd like to believe that he has another 10 great years. You'd like to believe that he hasn't even hit his peak yet. That's the side of this rumor that I can get on board with. Not to say that there's any substance to it, not to say that they would definitely be able to get him, but it would obviously be super exciting if Manchester United were to lose Bruno Fernandes this summer and to replace him with a guy like Cole Palmer, a player from Manchester that grew up as a Manchester United fan. How could you not be excited by that? Like, the talent that this player has. If you're going to tell me that this is just a blip in his career this season with the injuries, he's going to get over that and get back to his best, I'm going to sign right up for it. We have seen him come close to Fernandes in his best years in terms of goal production, in terms of chances created. He's been a close match. Last season, he only finished just 2 behind Fernandes in the final standings in terms of chances created. I think he could come similar to matching him from the penalty spot, which is obviously a big part of Fernandes and what he does at Manchester United, but also just in general in terms of goal scoring and assists and chance creation. And that's absolutely huge, because like, it's so hard to replace that. Like, we've noticed that in the few games that Fernandes went out, we were playing weak sides, and if Fernandes had been in that lineup, Manchester United win. And that's the kind of swagger, that's the kind of aura that Cole Palmer also has. So yeah, man, if this is the sign of the new Manchester United and they're really thinking long term and really back shopping for the best, then it makes sense. But you're also like, why would Cole Palmer want to leave one mess of a situation in Chelsea, which is kind of a bit all over the place with the signing structure, just signing every player under the sun, the youth movement, just everything like that? It's just a bit confusing. Why would he want to give up on that for another confusing, weird, messed up situation in Manchester United? Why would he be driving for that just because he's homesick? Like, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure if Manchester United would be top of the list if he was looking to move on. And I guess a return to City might be more likely, but I guess they don't. They obviously can't really say that they need him right now either with the players that they've gone and brought in. I would love to know if City have a buyback clause on Cole Palmer. It's hard to know because a lot of the players that City have sold to smaller clubs, they always have a buyback clause. But the fact that this was Chelsea, I would be surprised if they have a buyback clause. But you never really know in terms of the deals, in terms of the little things that go on with these negotiations that you don't hear about until the moment comes, and then all of a sudden, oh, there it is. They had the buyback clause or something of that nature. It's going to be super interesting to keep an eye on. Don't get me wrong. This could be dead. It's not going to happen in January, and then we could never hear about it again. Don't be surprised if that happens. But at the same time, if Manchester United are trying to turn over a new leaf and going back to shop at the best, Cole Palmer will be a great statement signing for them if they have to replace Bruno Fernandes. And that's the only way that this should ever be thought about from Manchester United's side, because their targets have to be central midfielders and fullbacks this summer. That's where United really need to invest their money, not in the more attacking areas. And that's just a fact. But hey, Cole, you're a Manchester United fan. If you really want to come, I'm sure we can make it happen. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Cole Palmer would want to come to Manchester United? Do you think Chelsea... What do you think Chelsea would want to sell Cole Palmer? I think that's the biggest question. Let me know in the comments what sort of price you think it would take to get Cole Palmer out of Chelsea, and if Manchester United is a good fit. And make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.